साई भगवान, जन्म जन्म मेरे साथ रहो तुम सत्य साई भगवान, जन्म जन्म मेरे साथ रहो तुम सत्य साई भगवान, मेरी निराकारी अल्लाह हे अवतारी प्रभु राम.
Invoking the blessings of the Almighty, guests, elders, and participants from around the world, Sairam, Namaste, and good evening. Welcome to day 19 of the One World, One Family World Cultural Festival here at Sathya Grama. This evening, we are honored to present the CSR Circle of Honor to Tata Hitachi for supporting students of the Skill Development Program with full scholarships. They have also extended their support towards solar installation at the Gurukulam section. Tata Hitachi Construction Machinery, a 60-plus years company, is a leading player in the Indian construction equipment industry. It is a joint venture between Tata Motors India and Hitachi Construction Machinery Japan. Together, the philosophy of Tata Hitachi is to create a better tomorrow for society. With a strong focus on developing global products suited for Indian conditions, Tata Hitachi is among the largest manufacturers of construction equipment solutions tailored to meet India's infrastructure and mining requirements. For Tata Hitachi, sustainability is the fundamental element of their CSR philosophy. Hence, the company focuses on 4 sectors, which are education, healthcare, rural infrastructure, and environment. Representing the company this evening is Mr. Muralidhar Rao, Head of Human Resources, and Ms. Yashoda, Senior Manager, Admin. We invite them both to come on stage, please, and accept this honor. With a career spanning 3 decades at Tata Hitachi, Mr. Muralidhar has journeyed across sales, dealer development, IT, and now human resources. A mechanical engineer from Maharaja Sayaji Rao University of Baroda, he strives towards customer focus, strategic acumen, and industry depth to talent management. A passionate leader, he believes technology drives progress, but people create legacies. We request Mr. Muralidhar to share a few words, please.
Namaskara and warm greetings to all of you. It's a very humbling experience for me to be with all of you at Sathya Grama, a place that radiates compassion, purpose, and the spirit of service. On behalf of Tata Hitachi, I'm extremely honored to be felicitated by Sadhguru, not for what we have contributed, but as a tribute to the values that we hold very close to our heart. For over a century, the Tata Group has always believed that business, is not measured by profits, but what it does for the society and the positive impact it brings to the society. At Tata Hitachi, we see CSR not as a business compliance, but as a commitment to build an inclusive India where every child, regardless of the background, has the opportunity to learn, grow, and dream big. And education is a very, very important transformation tool. And when we invest in the children, we invest in our nation building. We are extremely proud to partner with the institution like yours who nurture children. And together, we are planting the seeds of hope in the villagers, empowering families, and lighting the path for a better tomorrow. Like, the introduction about Tata Hitachi said, we believe in building the nation, we believe in building a better tomorrow. And to all the children here today, we see all child, each one of you as a builder of the nation, builder of tomorrow. So please keep believing, keep smiling, and keep learning, and please always know that we are always walking with you. So take care and have a great day. And on behalf of Tata Hitachi, I request that, I may felicitate Sadhguru for the phenomenal vision he has of uniting the planet with his philosophy of, one world, one family. Thank you very much. Thank you.
This evening, we are delighted to honor and celebrate the nation of Greece, also known as the Hellenic Republic. Widely regarded as the cradle of Western civilization, Greece is credited for having gifted the world with the foundations of philosophy, democracy, science, literature, and art. Greek masters were the founding fathers of various knowledge streams: Hippocrates, the father of medicine; Aristotle, father of biology; Archimedes, father of mathematics, and so on, while thinkers like Socrates and Plato shaped intellectual traditions that continue to guide human thought. The etymology of many words, especially scientific and medical terminologies, have their roots in the Greek language, while its mythology, very similar to India's, has for centuries fired global imagination. Indo-Greek relations and cross-cultural exchanges date back to as early as Megasthenes, a Greek ambassador to the court of Chandragupta Maurya. Beyond its historical legacy, Greece is today known for its beautiful islands, vibrant culture, and tourism. This evening, we are delighted to present the One World, One Family Humanitarian Award to Mrs. Anna Papamourkou from Greece for her contribution to education and fine arts. A versatile artist, Mrs. Anna is proficient in theatre, interior design, graphic arts, modern singing, and Bharatnatyam. As a playwright, director, actress, and iconographer, she has dedicated her career to uniting art with education and social service, with a deep faith that art has a capacity to cultivate self-knowledge, to inspire goodness, and to build bridges between people. It was with this vision that in 2002, Mrs. Papamourkou, along with her husband, Mr. Leonidas Seltouras, founded Lotinos Ilios, or Lotus Sun, a living cultural entity in which theatre and arts meet education for a more open, compassionate, and a united society. Since then, Lotus Sun has touched more than 5 lakh students in more than 2,500 schools across Greece. Every year, more than 12,000 children attend theatrical plays, and more than 2,500 educators are trained so that values presented on stage can continue to flourish inside the classroom as well. Through Lotus Sun, she and her husband have also created the Human Values magazine, audiobooks, conducted dozens of seminars for educators in Greece and Cyprus, using theatre as an educational and healing tool. Special focus is given to children with disabilities, to children from poor families, to institutionalized children and children battling severe diseases. The Lotus Sun has been created in order to bring light to the human soul through art, with the faith that art can transform man and man can transform the world. We now invite on stage Mrs. Anna Papamourkou to receive the award, followed by her acceptance speech.
Dear Sadhguru, I thank you from the depths of my heart for the honor you bestow upon us today. This award, as I feel it, it is not only honoring our work, but the work entrusted to us by our Swami. My beloved mentor, Sri Sathya Sai Baba, inspired and guided this path for almost 30 years. Without him, his teachings, and above all his love, not even one step would have been walked towards this direction. You see, I'm an artist. Since childhood, I longed to be an artist, above all, an actress. I loved theater, and I felt that it was something sacred for me. But Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba never called me an artist or an actress or a writer, neither a director. He always called me teacher. He encouraged me to create performances for moral stories for children. That was what he wanted from me, for me, and so I had to follow. But even then, while staging moral stories, he kept prompting, become a teacher. I want you to teach in my schools. Sometimes he would ask, how is your educational work going? But still, what I was doing, it was creating performances for children, until one day it struck me. You see, in my country, Greece, the land where theater was born, the act of staging a play, a drama, a tragedy, was called teaching. The poet and the actors were teaching the drama to the audience. For ancient Greeks, art was not only for delight, it was education of the soul, a remembrance of the true essence. And the ultimate goal of theater, as Aristotle said, was the catharsis of the soul, its release, cleansing, healing. I take this opportunity today at this auspicious World Cultural Program, One World, One Family, to underline something. An ancient Greek drama, a tragedy, could speak of many things, but it never showed any kind of violence on stage, no violence at all. Either were some criminal acts or disasters in the play, they were never placed before the audience's eyes, only described by an actor. Why? Because the ancient Greeks understood something that neuroscience today confirms. The human mind does not easily distinguish between imaginary and reality. For the brain, both are experiences. And the ancient Greeks did not wish to inflict any harmful experience on the spectator. When we watch a play, a movie, we feel emotions. We rejoice, we weep, we laugh, we fear, because the brain experiences everything as reality. The emotions participate, the body participates. So, when we watch, we're not mere onlookers, we become participants. What the hero suffers, we too suffer. What the hero does, we do enact, if only unnoticeably. From early, I felt this responsibility that the artist carries, for art is power, and every power bears responsibility, both for the one who creates, but also for the one who receives. We who write, direct, act, we shape imaginary worlds and we invite the audience to live within them. What worlds do we create? Worlds of light that empower, that generate hope, faith, trust in tomorrow, trust in the self, or worlds that sink into fear and despair? Do they offer release, catharsis, healing, or do they leave wounds open? As an artist, Swami guided me to create for children, as Plato said. It is necessary, Plato said, that the young receive beautiful impressions and performances so that from childhood they are led almost imperceptibly towards love for virtue and follow the good. Touching the heart of children and inspiring them, I can assure you, It's not an easy task. It's not easy as it may seem. The children are a very demanding audience. They will not sit down to watch a play or listen a story that does not touch their hearts or their imagination. Children feel your energy, your intention, and the level of presence. They need to see action, a strong example. Mere words are not enough. You can easily lose them, see them stand up and leave the hall. But hopefully, our interaction with them, but also with the teachers and the parents, was rewarding. I remember, and I want to share something here. I remember a performance we were staging about peace. The play had an uplifting end with songs about the universal peace. Children were leaving the theater as usual, happy, singing, laughing, expressing their satisfaction. But this day, a boy of 6 years old ran to me, hugged me tightly, sobbing. I was worried. Why are you crying? Did we do something that made you unhappy? I asked. And he replied, I cannot understand why I cry. I feel happy, very happy, and yet I'm shedding tears. Why? That boy, I feel that he was crying out of bliss. That is the power of the art. And I cannot find words to express my feelings. I felt a wave of gratitude that I had the honor to touch a children's heart so deeply. In our plays, we have witnessed miracles like children with special needs who usually find it hard to concentrate. They are remaining absorbed. They enjoy, they laugh, they participate with joy, astonishing even their caregivers. We have seen little ones like 3, 4, 5 years old pointing to their hearts, saying, here is the greatest treasure in the world, in the heart. And that's after a play about love and selfless service. Parents telling us we came for the children, yet we too were moved, reflected, and uplifted. Teachers with eyes moist, whispering, keep up the good work. This is the theater that Swami Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba entrusted to us, the art I try, imperfectly but sincerely, to create. Sadhguru, I thank you with all my heart for this honor. With it, I feel that the honor belongs to the vision of our Swami. Sai Ram. I would like to, please allow me to offer a present. It's a booklet with a poetic philosophical drama I wrote about Socrates. It is called Socrates' Graces. It was translated in English just to be presented to you. Please.
Now, we have two representatives from Greece address us. Our first speaker this evening is Mr. Evangelos Maroudas. A civil engineer from Greece, he has been part of Sadhguru's mission since 2015. He has been a core member of the Greek Uvacha translations team and has been conducting online study circles on the Bhagavad Gita in Greek and English. He will present on the country and lifestyle of Greece.
Kalispera. Beloved Sadhguru, Sri Madhusudan Sai, respected elders, dear brothers and sisters, today I have the great privilege of representing Greece, a country enriched with culture, history, and traditional value. Let me share with you the beauty of my country. As you can see, Greece is a small country located in a strategic place in the center of the world map. This means that if we would put a pin on Greece, the map would balance. Zooming in, we can see it is located in southeastern Europe at the southern end of the Balkan Peninsula. Greece shares land borders with 4 countries: Albania, North Macedonia, Bulgaria, and Turkey. It is also adjacent to the Aegean, Ionian, and Mediterranean seas, and therefore has maritime boundaries with several other countries. Greece spans just about 132,000 square kilometers, but because it has so many islands, it has one of the longest coastlines in the world. It has a population of about 10.3 million people. The capital is Athens, named after the goddess Athena, goddess of wisdom and warfare. Greece is known for its 6,000 islands, though only 127 of them are inhabited. It has some of the most beautiful beaches on the planet, which attract millions of tourists every summer. At the same time, it is a very mountainous country, featuring mountain ranges like Pindus and high mountains like Olympus, the home of the gods, which is tall as 2,918 meters. Greece has a Mediterranean climate. In summers, it is hot and dry. Winters are mild and wet. Its official currency is euro. The official language spoken in Greek is Greek. Greek language, as we heard this morning, has a huge historical impact, influencing modern European languages. The official religion in Greece is Greek Orthodox Christianity. Some of Greece's most breathtaking places include Meteora, a northwestern Greece, which is a stunning rock of formation known for its cliff-top monasteries. The monasteries are built on top of massive stone pillars. Once accessible only by ladders or ropes, these monasteries were home to monks seeking isolation and spiritual peace. Another place of great spiritual importance is Mount Athos, often called the Holy Mountain. It is a peaceful and sacred place tucked away on a peninsula in Chalkidiki, northern Greece. It is a place where time seems to slow down and faith is at the heart of everything. Many saints and sages live in small huts and caves all over this mountain, making it somehow the Greek equivalent to the Himalayas. Another location of huge spiritual interest from ancient times is Delphi, an ancient Greek sanctuary on Mount Parnassos. People came from all over to seek advice from the gods through the oracle that used to live here. It was once seen as the center of the world, and there can be found a certain lingam-shaped rock, which is known as the navel of the world, or umbilicus mundi in Latin. Greece is the birthplace of philosophy, meaning love for wisdom. Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, and Pythagoras were ancient Greek thinkers whose ideas still shape how we see the world. They emphasized truth, courage, moderation, and hospitality. Their ideas shaped Western thought and ethics. Alexander the Great was one of the greatest military leaders in history. He created a vast empire and spread Greek culture across 3 continents. His legacy still echoes around the world. Hippocrates was the father of medicine who stands wise and calm. He's holding a staff wrapped with a snake, which is a symbol of healing, and in his other hand, a scroll reminds us of his lasting medical teachings. It must be noted that the Hippocratic Oath is an oath taken by physicians all over the world, even today, committing themselves to acting for the benefit of the patient, keeping patient secrets, and mentoring future healers. This morning we spoke at length about Greece's deep spirituality and philosophy. The epicenter of the ancient Greek civilization was the Acropolis of Athens, and its monuments like the Parthenon, temple of goddess Athena. They comprise the greatest architectural and artistic complex passed on by the Greek antiquity to the world, and are a major tourist destination for everyone visiting Greece. Greek cuisine is rich and flavorful, featuring famous dishes like moussaka and spanakopita. It is a part of Mediterranean diet and is known for being healthy and flavorful. Traditional food is centered on wheat, olive oil, and dairy, and some of its famous dishes that you can see here mentioned are moussaka, spanakopita, choriatiki, fasolada, tzatziki, and baklava. Here is the iconic Greek or choriatiki salad. originating as a simple village salad made by farmers with available ingredients like tomato, cucumber, onion, feta cheese, and olives. It evolved into a staple in Greek households and a globally recognized dish that embodies the Mediterranean diet's simplicity and health benefits. Ancient Greeks wore chiton, peplos, and imation. Men's traditional Greek attire includes the fustanella, a white pleated skirt often worn with a vest and a sash, and a proud national symbol seen in ceremonial events. Women's traditional attire includes the Amalia dress, a beautifully embroidered outfit with rich colors, often worn with a fitted jacket and headscarf. Greek music is centered around the bouzouki, a melodious instrument which we are going to hear tonight. In every nook and corner of Greece, one will come across a different traditional Greek dance, like Kalamatianos, Pendozali, Ikariotikos, and Zonaradikos, just to name a few. They are lively and full of spirit, often danced in a circle, bringing people together with a rhythm and joy. Ancient Greece is where theater and drama were born, shaping the stories and performances we still enjoy today. Another very old form of theater for younger audiences is the shadow theater, with its main character being Karagiozis. Greece was the birthplace of theater and drama. Theater was not meant simply for entertainment, but had the intention to educate the people and was aiming at the purification of the soul, as we just heard from Sister Anna. The ancient theater of the Asclepieion at Epidauros is a stunning example of Greek architecture, famous for its perfect acoustics and beautiful setting. It was a part of healing sanctuary dedicated to Asclepius, the god of medicine, where people came to watch plays as part of their healing rituals. It could hold around 14,000 spectators and is renowned for its incredible acoustics, so precise that even a whisper on stage can be heard clearly from the top rows. Today, the theater still hosts performances, continuing its long tradition of blending art, culture, and healing. Karagiozis is the heart of Greek shadow theater, which is a playful, funny puppet show featuring the mischievous hero Karagiozis and his quirky friends. With simple silhouettes cast on a screen, played often by just one or two men, changing their voices, it brings to life folk tales, social satire, and everyday struggles, making adults and children laugh while sharing stories rooted in Greek culture. Manos Hadjidakis was one of Greece's most influential and celebrated composers. Known for blending Greek traditional music with Western classical and modern elements, Hadjidakis helped shape modern Greek music in the 20th century. Odysseas Elitis was one of the most important and internationally recognized Greek poets of the 20th century. He is best known for his luminous, lyrical poetry that merges the spirit of modernism with deep Greek tradition, nature, and history. His unique talent resulted in him winning the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1979. Praising the beauty of Greek nature, the Aegean Sea, and the clear blue sky, Elitis said, "My God, how much blue color have you spent so that we cannot see you?" Talking shortly about some current issues the Greek society is facing. Firstly, nutrition. Even though the Mediterranean diet is one of the healthiest in the world, today's youth prefer eating snacks and processed foods, resulting in the country having one of the highest rates of child obesity, and over 27% of adults are obese. Education in Greece is free and mandatory for 9 years, so the literacy rate is high at 97.5%. However, the education system is primarily focused on the students' results in the final exams. As a consequence, students have to spend long hours in after-school private lessons, which are also a heavy financial burden for parents. Healthcare. Hospitals in Greece are often understaffed, and doctors and nurses have to work long hours, putting their health and patients' health at risk. Also, many people face high out-of-pocket healthcare costs in order to seek better treatment in a private facility. Social care. There's a high risk of poverty, an aging population, and a low birth rate, putting extra strain on social care. NGOs like the Mirazome Foundation offer vital support by providing food, shelter, and community services to those in need. Social kitchens and churches step in to provide daily meals for those in need. Many homes provide care and support for the elderly and orphans, offering them comfort and a sense of community. Volunteers play a vital role in fighting poverty and helping reduce social isolation in communities. In fact, volunteerism, compassion, and solidarity are common traits of the Greek psyche, and the Greeks are always eager to help those in need, as we have often done with our neighboring countries in times of earthquakes, fires, and floods. To sum up, Greece faces many challenges, but its strong cultural values and community-driven initiatives continue to offer hope and support. Through Seva and solidarity, let's come together to help people rediscover strength and hope and show them the way to love and light. Ευχαριστώ. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now have a video showcasing the service activities carried out in Greece by volunteers of the One World, One Family mission. The video, please. Our next speaker is Mrs. Eva Paneri. She holds master's degrees in shipping and business management. She became a follower of Bhagwan Baba in 2008 and is now at the helm of our foundation in Greece. She will share with us her journey of transformation. Mrs. Eva.
Dear Swami, beloved brothers and sisters, it is with deep gratitude and joy that I stand before you today, in this sacred land of India. I feel truly blessed to be here. My personal journey of transformation began 70 years ago, when I first encountered the teachings of Sri Sathya Sai Baba and heard of his divine miracles. One quote in particular shook me to my core. There is only one language, the language of the heart. There is only one religion, the religion of love. Before this, I was drawn to spirituality and read books on energy and metaphysics, but more out of curiosity than a desire for inner change. When Sadhguru entered my life, everything shifted. The transformation became more intense, and my awareness began to grow, although the path has not been easy. But I have come to understand that God knows exactly how to awaken us from this dream. Challenges are not obstacles, they are divine tools to shape us into better beings. Lately, I feel more awake and more blessed than ever before. Through personal experience, I have come to understand Baba's teachings more deeply. My connection with God has grown stronger. I hear His voice in my heart. My faith and love for Him are boundless. Now I observe my thoughts, emotions, and patterns with greater detachment, and I return to my center more quickly. When faced with problems, I seek only God amidst silence, in meditation, in prayer. He is my shelter, my friend, my guide. Seva has always been my favorite spiritual activity. It fills me with joy and wholeness. In serving others, I forget myself and I open my heart to God. I feel truly fortunate to serve through our Seva Center in Greece. To me, Seva also means helping others without expecting anything in return. It's not just something we do for a few hours a day or week. Slowly, over the years, I'm understanding that it is a way of living. Even sending good thoughts silently is service, as every small act of kindness counts. In recent months, I have realized something profound. Every person I encounter is a mirror, a reflection of my own energy in that moment. I first noticed this 2 years ago during a minor car accident. I was anxious and rushed, driving my son to school. I reversed into another car. Expecting anger from the other driver, I was surprised by his calm and kind nature. In that moment, I understood. He was reflecting a part of me that I needed to see. God is always within us, guiding us, but we must learn to recognize His presence. Of course, there are times when I feel anger or stress, and again, I see my reflections in others. When we understand this, there is no one left to blame, only ourselves. And when we forget, life gently reminds us through new challenges. Transformation is not a one-time event. It is a daily commitment. It is found in the moments when we choose patience over anger, forgiveness over resentment, and love over fear. Each time we make that choice, we transcend our limitations and move closer to our higher self. Every victory is a step towards freedom. Every missed opportunity is a lesson. Ultimately, I have come to realize that there is no other path but transformation. If we seek peace, freedom, and God, nothing else truly matters. As I often reflect, only the divine self gives you energy. Everything else drains you. So let us invest in our divine self. We must awaken to our divinity, not just for ourselves, but for all humanity. This is a time of great calling, a time of opportunity, We are not here by chance, but by divine purpose. My dear Sadhguru, I'm here to do my part regarding inner work. Yes, I make mistakes, but I rise again, stronger each time. And now I can see the magic and the miracles in the process. It's an honor to be part of One World, One Family World Cultural Festival. Thank you, Sadhguru, for your love, your protection, your guidance. Thank you for everything. I pray to you for peace and love in the world. Ευχαριστώ. Sadhguru, we have a special gift for you from Greece.
Thank you, Mrs. Eva, for sharing your touching story. Today, we are immensely honored to share that we have received a special message from Mrs. Mayra Miroyani, the Secretary General for Greeks Abroad and Public Diplomacy of the Hellenic Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I read the letter as follows. For the One World, One Family World Cultural Festival, dear Sadhguru, honorable hosts, distinguished guests, warm greetings from Greece. It is a pleasure to address the organizers and the participants of this year's World Cultural Festival in Karnataka, in the heart of India, an ancient civilization with rich history and philosophical tradition. In the context of an event celebrating eternal human values, I am proud to refer to the ecumenical values of Hellenism that continue to inspire people across borders, languages, and epochs. Hellenism is a notion that brings to mind truth, beauty, measure, and justice. It is the spirit of dialogue that Socrates taught in the Agora, the harmony of logic and metaphysics found in Aristotle and Plato, and the conviction that human dignity lies at the center of public life. These values are part of the heritage of the vibrant Greek diaspora and permeate their way of living and thinking. The General Secretariat for Greeks Abroad and Public Diplomacy, aiming to strengthen relations between countries via culture, language, education, and the exchange of ideas, contributes to the creation of bonds between people. Public diplomacy enhances communication beyond traditional diplomatic channels. Both our countries represent ancient civilizations. Thus, it is even more important to underline the need of preserving cultural heritage, promoting human values, and working towards mutual understanding. With these few words, I wish you all a constructive festival full of success and fruitful interaction. Unquote. Our deep gratitude to the Greek Ministry of Foreign Affairs for their kind wishes and regards. We now pray to Sadhguru to bless us with his benedictory message.
We collectively offer our gratitude and express our happiness to this ancient land of human civilization, which has enlightened centuries of human societies with the wisdom that they left behind as a legacy. From the times of Socrates to Plato, Aristotle, we have learned so much from the Greek culture in the past, and we are still learning. Of course, in the last few centuries, many changes have happened. But if we look back at the origins of the Greek philosophy, it had very much the similar ideas and similar traditions like Sanatana Dharma. And it must be because of a lot of Indian wise people must have traveled to Greece, and a lot of Greek people must have traveled to India. We do not know how and when, but definitely all the thoughts are so similar. When I was in Greece, I learned that it was Socrates who first said that I am a world citizen, he thought of himself as a person who belonged to the world and not just to one culture or one community or a country. That was the same idea as Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, when we talk about us being a part of a larger global family. I do not think in many countries I've heard an idea like that, when they thought of everybody as their family or they thought they belonged to the whole world. So because of the spiritual wisdom of Socrates that he could think like this. And since then the Greek thought on education, healthcare, on social structure, on administration and governance, on religion and human societies has always been very enlightening. Those who are interested in Indo-Greek cultural programs, there are a lot of such things are available. And this morning when I was talking to the speaker, she mentioned about her interest in developing a program where they can teach about Greek philosophy. I thought, why not? We already have a program in our Institute of Human Values where we have a program on Indian culture and philosophy. Why don't we add another module to it with Indo-Greek culture and philosophy and help the youngsters understand the commonality of our cultures? Because truth is only one, like sun is only one. Whether you are Socrates or whether you are in India, a sage, if you connect to the divine, you will get the same answers to your questions. Because there is only one divinity, there are not many. Of course, you will understand it in your own language and traditions, but the truth is only one. That is why it is said, Ekam Sat Vipraha Bahudha Vadanti. There is only one truth spoken by the wise people in many ways. So the truth that Indian sages envision or the truth that the great Greek philosophers spoke about, they cannot be different. If they are truth, they have to be same. Only lies differ, but truth will remain the same. And something to that nature we can institute. I am personally very enamored by the Greek idea and philosophy. I know the modern education does not provide much room for those ancient ideas, and most of it is getting rapidly forgotten. But it is a good thought to rejuvenate and reinstate this connection, the spiritual connection between the two countries through their common culture and philosophy. In Greece, people are very hospitable, they are very warm, they are very friendly, and the country itself is very beautiful. I have been going to Greece for some time, and the country itself is so beautiful. A lot of olive trees, beautiful beaches, and the sea, perfect azure blue skies, and Prussian blue waters. If you just stand there, you lose yourself, because it is so much of beauty to soak in at one go. Though, as I said, it is populated sparsely, there are a lot of islands, but everything has so much of beauty in it. And that beauty must be the reason why there were so many philosophers. Because when you are close to nature, you get inspired. You see the divine in everything around you. And I'm sure these philosophers of those times must have been inspired by the beauty that the nature in Greece entertains you with. It is very engaging, it is very elevating. This is what I saw when I went there. Of course, we all know the story of Alexander the Great. He's coming to India. When he was coming to India, I believe it was his teacher, Aristotle, who told him that when you are coming back, I do not want you to bring wealth or any other such material gifts from that country if you ever go to India. You bring me some wise men from there who can also discuss and enrich us with their wisdom, because I've heard of the wisdom of India. That is what he asked Alexander to do, to bring some wise men. Unfortunately, Alexander could not go back to Greece, despite having conquered so many territories all the way till Sindhu River. But he could not go back. He died on the way because of exhaustion and sickness. But till date, I'm sure there are a lot of wisdom that got transferred between the two countries. And this One World, One Family cultural festival, it's called, in Greek, it would be called Anas Kosmos Mia Ikoinia. That is what it's known as, One World, One Family. And that idea is so very elevating, and I think both the countries have lots to offer each other and work towards. If we keep the politics and the other things aside, I think there is so much common that as India and Greece, we can work together and learn from each other. Every year I take our students also for a Europe trip, and I have taken to them to Greece. Every time I make a point that they go to Greece and look at those ancient monuments and learn about their culture. I'm particularly enamored by the Greek music as well as theatre. Theatre is something again like our Natya Shastra says. Natya Shastra is basically theatre. And how old it is, we do not know, but it got composed maybe 3rd or 4th century CE, but before that I'm sure it existed. Bharat Muni's Natya Shastra. He talks about these things, including the idea of using a mask. And when you think about Greek theatres, you have this word called personality in English, and a lot of words. In the morning, the speaker was telling about so many common words that we use in English and which have originations in Greece. These like personality. Personality is borrowed from the word persona. Persona means a mask. So when they used to play in theaters, they used to stage a play, they would wear or hold a mask against their face. And the same actor would keep changing the mask and change his voice and act like many people. And every time he puts on the mask, he will behave according to the mask. If this is the mask of the king, he behaves like a king. If he mask of the beggar, he will behave like a beggar. And this is so philosophically deep because we are all putting on this mask. Ashtavakra Gita is telling us, isn't it? That these are all masks, these are all camouflage, this is all costumes. And all the world is a stage. And Greek philosophers talked about it. They consider the world as a drama, a theatre, a stage, where everybody comes and performs their roles. And that idea is so very Indian as well. Jagannataka, we said, the whole world is basically a drama. Today in Ashtavakra Gita also we are learning about how whole thing is just a drama, a dream. So Greek also thought about it because not many religions of that side, whether pagan or Abrahamic, they believed in the idea of reincarnations, karma, and things like that. But Greek philosophy believed in that. Imagine so far distanced. India is thousands of miles away from Greece. And there was no real communication channel between the two countries. But Indians thought about and understood there is a law of reincarnation and law of karma. And that divinity exists. The very idea that divinity exists beyond physicalities of bodies and minds also happened in Greece. They also believed in the same thing. And they also talked about it, the great philosophers. Of course, they were all penalized for that, like it happens all the time. Speak the truth and get punished. Socrates was punished, so also Plato, Aristotle, everybody went through that because the kings would, those who had politics as their main agenda, they could not swallow that truth, the bitter truth, because that equated everybody. That said everybody is equal. Now, how can king be equal to a subject? So these were the ideas which kind of distorted the original vision of Greek philosophers, and they suffered a great loss at the hands of these political forces. But I think beyond that, Greece has enriched the world with its culture, traditions, spirituality and philosophy and science and arts. Hippocratic oath that they're talking about is equivalent to our Charaka Samhita. Hippocrates, who brought out a lot of medicinal systems, is still known and regarded around the world. So also so many other principles of science, they are originated from Greece. This highly advanced civilization in those times was very similar to the Indian advanced civilizations, and I believe it is because they were spiritual in nature. Spirituality gave them the insights, the intuition. The great Eureka I was mentioning the other day, that joy of discovery like that of Janaka, Archimedes' principle of buoyancy. These are all Greek ideas that were further taken forward by the various scientists around the world. So we owe a lot to basically the country of Greece as a civilization, as humanity. And we are happy that we are celebrating the Greece Day over here. I'm also wearing some blue to recognize and celebrate Greek culture and philosophy. This represents the Greek skies and the seas. That is how they, and white, of course, they have very white, barren hills also. And if you go to some of the islands in Greece, they're very beautiful. They have white houses with blue doors and windows, and they look very pretty. And I was very lucky. I didn't go and stay anywhere, but we did go in a boat, spent a whole day in the sea, and watched all these islands and beauty of the Greece, thanks to the devotees over there. And Eva was speaking about her transformation. It made me very happy, because that's what I'm interested in. Beyond all the other materialistic things, is the transformation of human heart, that is the core of our mission. And Eva spoke so well, I was very touched. And I also want to acknowledge the Greek devotees for the service that they do both in Greece and in India. And for those who do not know, when we started the Gadag campus, Vani Niketanam, I went to the Greek people and told them, would you be able to adopt a campus and support it? They had a lot of difficulty because Greece was going through a lot of economic crisis at that point in time. And there was embargo on funds being donated to other countries. But still they worked very hard through their friends and other family. They sent funds here. We built the Gadag girls campus with the help of the Greek devotees. So we are grateful for that. I'm sure these Gadag daughters are here. Where are you, Gadag children? Stand up. Oh, there they are in the last side of the hall. So they're all studying there in Gadag campus. It's from 6th to 10th. They study there. And it's growing still. The campus is still growing slowly. So this is a contribution of our Greek devotees. Okay, sit down. Likewise, you would also be very happy to know that in the new building, the hospital building, a big statue is coming. You know that? Bhagwan statue. It's a very high, 21 feet, monolithic marble statue. And this being made in Italy. In Italy, there is a place called Carrara. Yeah, so that marble called Carrara marble, white marble, that comes from there. And I went there all the way. I had to go in a helicopter because it's up there in the hills. And that whole mountain is a quarry of marble. And all these great marble statues, which like the David statue in the Sistine Chapel, they're all made by Michelangelo and other Italian artists. They use the same marble to make that from the same quarries. And this is the company that is making the statue. They said this perhaps might be the tallest single stone monolithic statue that has ever been made from the marbles of this area. It is 21 feet high. Yeah, that is the company. When the statue was being made, they had a robot which would cut the main stone, and then it will further be chiseled and polished by the artists, there. So this is what the statue is. It's on the way. It's on a ship right now. It's on its way to India. So Greek devotees have supported and contributed towards the statue alongside the Italian devotees. And we are very happy that would be installed. In the center dome which is coming up, the big dome, it will be right under that, so that everybody when they walk in there would have darshan, and then of course it is the soul of the institution. That is where it is. So you'll also get to see that. Like that, a lot of things our Greek devotees have done and they're still doing, and I wish them very well. I love a lot of Greek food, but I think Greek salad is also one of my favorite salads. At least it's edible. Other salads are very boring. This Mediterranean, little bit of feta cheese and olives, they make it really tasty. So Greek salad is a very, very popular dish, though it's a very farmer's dish. But I think around the world, even in the top quality restaurants in 5-star cuisine also, you'll find Greek salad in a different version. Of course, we put a little masala and Indianize it a bit. But then that is a very popular dish. And also, I'm sure you had that bean soup today. So yeah, some of you must have tasted. Very simple cuisine, not very spicy or not very heavy. But they have a lot of nice things. And whenever I go to Greece, I enjoy being there. I stay at Yorgos' home. They have kept a room for me over there. They have 2 very beautiful children. Eva's children are there. They look after me very well. They're always standing outside my door to attend to whatever I need. Many times I have to tell them to go because they would otherwise be waiting there just in case I need anything. But they're so well behaved, they don't disturb me at all. They'll be waiting outside near the stairs. So I stay there, and I'm very happy that all of you have come together. I really enjoyed having all of you here, and I expect some of you at least to come back again for the November festivals and be here for the inauguration of the hospital and the unveiling of the statue. I also convey my gratitude to the Greek Foreign Ministry, which has kindly sent a message of solidarity and our common cultural connections, and we will work towards building it further. With these words, I conclude, and we will wait for the evening cultural presentations. Watch out for the beats and the rhythms. They are very unique. Sometimes you can't even count them on fingers because they are like 7.5, 3.5, very different beats. So those music people should pay attention to that. That is very unique to Greek music. So you must pay attention to that. Okay.
We will have a break for 10 minutes, after which we shall have this evening's cultural program. This evening, we have a musical presentation from the land of Greece. Much like the diversity of India, different geographies of Greece have their own ethnic styles and interpretations of music, from Byzantine to Rebetiko, sacred chants, nomadic idioms, and traditional forms. This evening's musicians will present before us a wide range of this diversity. Presenting the musicians, Mr. Hari Laos Likos on the violin, Mr. Konstantinos Sarouhis on the oud, Mr. Ioannis Rizopoulos on the percussions, Mr. Emmanuel Christodoulou on the kanun, Mr. Theodoros Ziarkas on the contrabass and lyra, Mr. Ioannis Mihailidis on the lyra and vocals, Mr. Panayotis Kouteris on the clarinet, bagpipes and kaval, Ms. Angeliki Pardali on the santoor and vocals, Ms. Maria Plomi on the lute, Mr. Manusos Klapakis on the davouli and def, and last but not the least, Mr. Dimitris Lambrianos on the accordion and bouzouki. Please put your hands together for this very talented artist.
Mm-hmm.
you got a feel of the rhythms and the music of Greece. I think everybody is multi-instrumentalist, everybody is talented, they can sing, play multiple instruments. I think that's there in Greek genes, like Dimitris. Can you teach one nice beat to our people, an odd beat like what you were playing, right? Yes. Some 5/2, something like that. Can you teach that? Let me see if they can pick it up.
1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. They know that. This is an Indian also. 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2. That is Indian. There is another one which is actually in 9. It's called Zebekiko, which is like pam pa pam 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 pa pam 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 pam. This is like the 9. 5, yeah, 9. And there is also.
We played also by Duska, which is 5. It's 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3. Right?
Because they're very odd beats. They're not regular ones that we use in regular singing. But they are so good, they all understand because that is their type of rhythm and beats. So they are so much in sync. I was finding it hard to count. I was trying though. But yeah, very nice. Thank you so much for your music. Thank you so much for celebrating this day with us. Please come again.
We request all to kindly rise for the national anthem of Greece, followed by the Indian national anthem.